On this episode, you'll be learning all the tips to get you through this unprecedented time. And you're going to want to watch through because I will be sharing with you my ultimate COVID-19 stay-at-home guide for doers. There is opportunity in this moment. You've been given the gift of time, and there's so much you could be doing. So class is in session. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Fashion Masterclass, and I'm Angela Taylor-George. So the episode that I had in store for you, I decided not to air, and I've decided to make this video. I'm actually at my house in the Hamptons in New York, and we don't usually video here. We're usually in the city, either at my loft in downtown or at the office in the garment district. So I thought it was really important for me to come on and, talk about what's going on in the pandemic, the coronavirus, and really, how that's impacting you and, impacting all of us, and really what's important to really remember and to focus on in these times. And my heart goes out to you if you have loved ones, anybody that's ill or has passed from this virus. And these are tough times, and they're unprecedented times for sure. But we will get through this. Other things. I've seen a couple of things go on in my career, and also, and if you have a business, like how will this impact your business? That's something that, obviously the economy is in a bind right now. We have to see how that's going to shake out, what's going to happen. They're talking about Great Depression, things like that. So we really have to see what's going to happen. But for now, I started to write this article, and this is why I wanted to come on right now, because I started to write this article that I was going to post in my social media. Basically, it really started out, it's just like about what's going on and about like what do we choose to do with this time when we're homebound, basically. I don't know, where in the world you're watching from, but in several countries, obviously, we are homebound, and everything's been shut down. In New York, everything's shut down except supermarkets and pharmacies. The restaurants are shut down, the schools are shut down, everything's shut down. We're kind of on lockdown, and we're, advised not to go out of our homes. Social distancing, very important. But so it got me to thinking about, what do we do in this time? What do we do with this information? And I was really thinking that this time we've all been given will expose the cracks in our foundation, in the foundation of our life, because right now to be home and also you can be working from home as well, but even just being home is a big, if you've used to going to an office every day or traveling for work, and that's not happening. So it's like major shifts are happening right now. So, with that, being in close proximity to family and friends potentially and things like that. And it's really going to be a time when really, our character, our true character will be shown to us, how we behave in these circumstances. And, I also want to say, but it's also a time of massive transformation, massive transformation now and throughout this process. There will be massive transformation. And also, any need that we have to make changes in our lives will become apparent right now through this whole process. And that, that some relationships will grow and some relationships, won't make it, and businesses will thrive and other businesses will contract. It's really, that's kind of the times that we're in. And we'll learn a lot more about ourselves in the coming weeks and months for sure. And, basically, how do we handle life in the face of a crisis? How do we handle life? How do we show up for life? How do we behave? And, are we serving others? Or are we just trying to stock up on toilet paper, because we're afraid that we're not going to have any. Are we coming from, this, what mindset are we bringing to the situation, because mindset is everything, how do we handle things in the face of crisis, but also how are we seeing the opportunities? Are we recognizing that there are also opportunities, in the past? I mean, I'm going to, taking aside that this is something that, people can die from, and and it is really seems like it's the elderly that, or people that have compromised immune systems that can't withstand the virus. Chances are that, a healthy person that got it is going to be okay and is going to live through it, So this is different in that way, but we have had other times when after 9/11, after the Twin Towers came down, like that was a time of things shifting, things changing. A lot of stores went out of business. A lot of, retail was compromised, and a lot of retailers went out of business at that time. And then also at the Great Recession, in 2008, 2009, a lot of people went out of business as well in that time. So if you're in a business, if you're in a fashion business, understand that you can ride the wave. If you have enough resources and you have enough runway financially, you could definitely ride the wave. If you don't, those are the businesses that, maybe won't make it, that type of thing. So it always is good to have, a certain amount of money in your account that can float you through a bad time. But, so these are the times that, again, after 9/11, everybody had a retail store. If they liked fashion, and I like clothes, I know what looks cute, I can have a retail store. No business acumen. Those are the people that went out. Anybody who's hanging on by a thread right now may not survive. People that have a stronger hold on the industry and what's happening, they have a better chance of surviving right now. So it is about, surviving, thriving in this time, looking at the opportunity and seeing what you can do to grow your business. And the other thing is, if you do have a business, this is the time when all eyes will be on you. How do you handle customer service? How do you handle if you're selling wholesale and a store wants to cancel an order? How are you handling that cancellation? Because this is the time that your customers will remember. We're all going through this, like the customers are going through it, and you're going through it as a designer, as a manufacturer, but for whatever reason, that's your client, and the client will remember how you treated them in a hard time. Even, with Alice and Trixie, we had times, we had hurricanes, we had, Puerto Rico, what happened, Maria, we've had other hurricanes, tornadoes over the years in different parts of the country, when stores were just like, our store is gone, obviously, or we need to rebuild, or during Katrina. We were selling tons of stores in New Orleans at that point in that area. And, so many stores were like, we're rebuilding, we need to close. So we took the cancellations. So you have to show good customer service, even in these times, even when your business might be hanging on by a thread, or you might need the money, you still have to show good customer service, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to be remembered, and that's how you're going to keep that customer. Because the way you behave now, you could lose a customer. So, and that's so important that you want to be there for your customers, even if you're taking a hit too. Because like everyone takes the hit at that point. They're taking the hit, and everyone has to take the hit. So I just want to say, so for that, I think definitely how are you behaving? Also, how are you marketing? It could be an insensitive time to be marketing at this point, or you have to be very delicate in your messaging. If you're doing email blasts or things like that, or if you're doing any type of Facebook ads, or, you have to be delicate in the way you're marketing. And again, depending on what type of business you're in, but I think right now it's about being of value and being of service, and not so much trying to get something at this point. I really think that it really is about, what can I do to be of value? What can I do to be selfless and be of service to my customer? That is going to win. That is a winning strategy. But if you're trying to shamelessly make money off of people who are price gouging, for instance, not that you would do that, but people who are charging $29.99 for a small bottle of Purell on Amazon, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's taking, this is a crisis, this is a world crisis, this is a pandemic, it's a world crisis, and to want to make profit in that way. It's just not a business. It's not a business built on integrity. So I think, what can you do to be of service? What can you do to be giving at this time that isn't necessarily that you're trying to sell somebody? I think that it speaks to your character as a company, for sure. So some of the other things I wanted to talk about, aside from that, was, I did like this, I did a little checklist, I called it the COVID-19 checklist. So I created this checklist because obviously you and everyone else, that is on, lockdown or curfew or things like that, we're home a lot. Obviously, we're home like 99% of the time. We can only go out for food or short walks or things like that. So what can you be doing? And this is where I kind of made this checklist. And, one of the things I want to say was like, wake up and shower and get dressed and put your makeup on and do your hair like every day, even if you don't have to be anywhere, or even if you're working from home. I think it just sets your mind into a much better mindset than like staying in pajamas all day and not showering and not, that type of thing. So just to get up, shower, put your makeup on, just like you're leaving to go to the office or wherever you work, I think it's really important. I think structuring your day and your weeks and scheduling around events, like schedule your time. I think it's really important. Any action items that you need to be doing, but to schedule your time, to have as much normalcy as possible in this time. Limit your breaking news consumption. Like in the beginning, I was like on my cell phone like 24/7. I was on my cell phone, like, coronavirus update. And I was just like, I was addicted to my phone. I was addicted to Facebook, social media, and it was really hurting me a lot. And it was not helping me at all. And it was putting me into a worse state. Limit breaking news consumption, maybe once a day even, once a day, just to see what's going on. I mean, at least now I think we're at a point where we're just like, we're kind of in a position of like, we kind of know what's happening. We just have to kind of ride it out. Initially it was like, are the schools closing? Are they not closing? Are the restaurants closing? Are the gyms closed? We didn't know, but I think right now we kind of know what's happening. So I don't think there's the necessity. We also know it's going to get worse before it gets better and things like that. So there isn't so much the necessity to be like glued to the TV or glued to your phone, to get news. So I would say limit the news. Also reach out to family and friends to connect. That's such a great thing to do right now, wherever they are in the world. Also spend quality time, with your family, if you have kids, pets. It's a great time to really take this time to spend quality time with them. I said, rekindle your romance. If you're in a relationship or you're married, maybe this is the time to rekindle your romance. If you're not in a romance, maybe it's time to start a romance online. Refresh your social media accounts. Maybe it's a good time to bring your social media accounts up to date, your Instagram, things like that. But don't get stuck. Don't get too stuck on social media, and don't get stuck in a Facebook rabbit hole, and limit your social media time. I think it's really important. If I'm on Facebook, I can get like into a rabbit hole, and an hour later, I don't know what I did, and it's almost like eating like unhealthy food and then feeling bad after. That's kind of how spending too much time on Facebook feels to me. So I say limit Facebook, and especially now because it's like so much stuff about the virus, and it's just like, again, more like stuff in your head that you don't need. So definitely limit your Facebook time, your social media time. And check your personal emails. Like, you don't have to, like, I can be incessantly checking on my iPhone, like checking every single minute, like I have a few email accounts. I'm constantly checking my emails. Not good. If you're working, it's different, but right now, if you're not working and you're at home, like, you don't need to check personal emails more than like a couple times a day, really. Also meditate, and you don't have to be on a mountaintop, like, with, palms up and fingers like this and cross-legged. You can get like there's like free apps, like Insight Timer is one that I really like. It's called Insight Timer. That's a really good one. So to spend some time going inward at this time, going inward, quieting your mind, quieting yourself. That's super important to stay centered. Marie Kondo Your Life. Marie Kondo, she wrote the book about, if you don't love, like if it doesn't bring you joy, you should discard it or recycle it or whatever. So sometimes like if you look at your place with like you know, like a discerning eye, you'll realize that things are maybe not the way you want, or they're not, or things are not in the right places, or you don't like the things you have, so to recycle them. So that's really important, to cycle out those things that don't bring you joy. Changing around your furniture. You know, I know when I was a kid in my bedroom, I would love to change around my furniture. I don't do that so much now, but I think I'm actually going to do that here. I think I'm going to swap my couch for a chair and stuff like that. So, but maybe just moving around, you know, just like shifting some energy, like moving around some furniture could be really good. Open your windows, air out your apartment, like, you know, open your windows. Like today was beautiful out here in the Hamptons. I opened the back door and this front window, and I had a cross ventilation of air, which was great. Just circulate some of that old air out of your apartment, especially we're in there all the time, you know, or your house or whatever. Scheduling productive think time, like scheduling think time where you're just sitting thinking. And what am I thinking? You know, you might be devoting time to maybe a side hustle that you've been wanting to do, something you've been dreaming about, or ways to up-level your business, like to really like schedule, like I'm going to sit here for 15 minutes or 20 or half hour, whatever it is, and I'm just going to think. That's actually a thing, like thinking time. So think time with an intention of what you're going to think about. So that's something that you could do now. Also, coming up with marketing ideas for anything you're doing. If you have a business or you're planning on one, like coming up with some marketing ideas, because that takes time to think of these things. You know, copywriting takes time. Our marketing ideas take time. We have time right now. That's one thing we do have, is time at this moment. Also, devoting time to creativity. Like, you know, what are your interests? You know, what do you want to explore right now, or things you could execute on, or you know, a book that you've been thinking about writing, or starting to paint, or picking up an instrument, a musical instrument, or, you know, maybe you've been thinking about writing jokes because you want to do stand-up. I mean, anything. So anything that makes your heart sing, or that you've been thinking about, now's the time. Also, to educate and immerse yourself in any online courses, super important. You know, online education is like where it's at. You can really learn anything online. So, and whether you're coming on YouTube for free or you're taking paid courses, so, you know, educate and immerse yourself with an online course, one or more. But, you know, start with one and see how that goes. And then read or listen to books and podcasts. Watch YouTube to learn something, which I said. Also, you know, listen to positive, like personal development gurus, like people like Tony Robbins or Jack Canfield or Brendan Burchard or Jay Shetty. These are all personal development gurus that, you know, teach about positivity, manifestation, things like that. So, you know, that could be something. And a lot of them, they have things on YouTube. You can go to their websites, but they do have a lot of content out there that you could listen to for free. Also listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, also known as Gary V. I really like Gary V. I think he has great ideas about business and marketing and happiness, and I really like him a lot. So I watch him on YouTube. I know he has like a podcast, but I usually watch him on YouTube. You know, is there a way you could document this experience right now? Is there, you know, could you, you know, like through photography or journaling or writing, or, I mean, I'm actually doing that. I've been taking a lot of photos. I'm documenting my experience with photos. I'm writing this like little article. So yeah, think about ways you could document this experience, maybe in a painting, you know, things like that. Also, you could host a Zoom conference meetup. Like maybe you know, want to get with your friends and just like go on a Zoom conference, and it's video conferencing. So, or you can attend any that are happening. A lot of people are trying to connect because they can't connect in person. They're connecting online through Zoom conferences. I'm sure if you go to Meetup, I'm sure a lot of meetups now are meeting through a Zoom conference. So if you go to that Meetup app, I'm sure you could find something there. Or you can host your own, you know, or maybe think of something and just have a party. You can have a party, you can play music, people can bring drinks wherever they are to the Zoom, you know, it's fun. It's almost like in the old days we used to have a party line. I'm really dating myself. There was a phone number you would call. It was a phone number, and you'd call, and there were people on there like just talking on the party line, like tons of people from different, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Ohio. Where are you from? It was so crazy, and you'd be talking to people on the party line. So it almost like could be like the party line, the Zoom. Trying a new fitness routine. There's a lot of workout classes online. I know my friend just took like a dance class from Debbie Allen. She's I don't know, she was in a lot of stuff, but she's the choreographer and stuff, and she did that. A lot of people are live streaming. People are live streaming yoga classes, things like that, meditations. So that's something to do from home. Or if you can, if you live far away from people that you're not, like maybe in a big city, but where you can get out whenever you want and take a walk. I live near the beach, so I drive to the beach and I can walk on the beach. There's not that many people there, and they're very far away from me, so I'm lucky. Or if there's a big park, in the city, my friends been going to Central Park every day to take a walk. So getting out, getting some fresh air, like getting out there and getting fresh air at appropriate times. Also, walking, bike riding, and also just enjoying the me time that you have. Like whatever this is, like this is. If you're home alone, it's really about, it's enjoying me time, finding the beauty in that and doing some of the things that we're talking about, because usually you can't do that when you're with somebody else. Like you can't take an online course, Think of ways to be of service at this time while keeping yourself safe. Like maybe you have an elderly neighbor that can't get out for groceries, so when you go for groceries, you can pick up stuff for her. Like things like that. What can you do to serve others at this time? Super important. To add value and positivity to family and friends and groups that you're a part of, that you're adding value and positivity to where you're going, that you're trying to uplift people's spirits and not just like chime in to the collective misery of what's happening, because some people, miserable people are going to be miserable and positive people are going to try to be positive. So it's like you can choose what side you want to be on, really. And also smile as much as possible. Like smile when you're out, smile when you wake up in the morning. Like when you wake up in the morning, smile. I know somebody I don't do that, but I know a friend who's been doing it. She goes, I wake up, I put a big smile on my face and it actually helps. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I will smile when I wake up, but I do smile all the other times. But anyway, and be kind and courteous and considerate always. We always want to be like that. And think about how you can be a leader and a power of example at this time. How can you lead? How can you be a power of example? I've done some Zoom meetups myself. I did a Zoom meetup last night, in fact. So I'm trying to provide value. Like I'm coming on here to talk to you about this. So I'm trying to provide value. So that's how I'm trying to show up. So how can you be a leader and provide value? And this is like one of the most important things, is to write a daily list of all that you're grateful for. Because no matter what, we have gifts to be grateful for. All of us do. All of us do. So write a daily list of things that you're grateful for. And I just really kind of ended this with like, recognize that the planet has never been smaller. We've never been more connected. And also, and to look at this time as maybe it's like the universe saying like, slow down. It's like this collective pause in the universe to slow down, smell the roses, be with your family, be with your kids, be with your parents, whatever it is. Like it's just slow down and smell the roses time. And the universe also to recognize what's important to us. Like what I think that we're so caught up with just social media and just, I don't know, we've just I come from a time when we didn't have social media, and so I know the difference, and a lot of you don't. But it was just it was a different time. It was like, imagine like now it's like people are they're going, oh my God, this is so great. I want to take a photo of this. And then so I can post it on Instagram. They're not even experiencing, they're going to take the photo of it, but they probably won't look at it again. But like, they're not actually looking at what they're taking the photo of. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want to document that I've done this, but I'm not really experiencing this myself. I'm not really in the moment taking this in. I'm here to take the photo to post it. And that's not really living. That's really not living. Living is to not have to video it. Be in the moment. And I've done that myself. Like I would video things, go to concerts or this or that. And I'm just like, I don't care. I never look at that video again anyway, probably. But it's more about experiencing and being in the moment. And I think that's what we're missing right now. So I really feel like this shift there's something about this shift that is bigger than all of us, and that it's happening for a reason. I firmly believe that. Yeah, so I guess I just want to end this by saying, like, surrender and accept what's happening. It's happening. like there's no choice. You have to surrender and accept what is happening, and that's it, and make the best of it, essentially. And also, the weeks and the months are going to pass from now, and this will all be a distant memory at some point. Believe it or not, it doesn't feel like that right now, but trust me, this will be a distant memory at some point. And when you look back on this time spent, the choice is yours. Like, do you want to, the transformation can start now. You know what I mean? The choice is yours. The transformation can start now. So when you look back on this time, like, was it a time of transformation? Was it, or was it a time of anxiety and worry? And, that's how, the choice is yours. So I really hope that you choose the transformation. I know I am. And I am just, I'm excited that I was able to rig all this up to get on. Now I'm just hoping that the thing is videoing the whole time. I feel like I've done this whole video and then I go and for some reason the phone died because I can't tell, But anyway, my heart is with you. Blessings and prayers go out to, your families and friends. And we will get through this. And there is a saying, this too shall pass. So I'm so glad you stayed with me through to the end. You got all the wisdom nuggets that I wanted to give you today. So please stay safe, stay at home, and crush it. You could be crushing it while you're at home. So I really hope you got value. If you did, subscribe, like, and share this content. And also jump into the Facebook group, the Fashion Masterclass. I come in live and I can answer any questions in there as well. And drop down into the comments and tell me some things that you're doing at home to crush it. I would love to see what you're doing at home as well. And I would love for you to check out some of my other videos. I have a 5-part series on how to start a fashion brand. And last week we did an episode on branding and social media. Take a look. Bye for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.